reading series. This is Dan Ramonal, and you're listening to my first podcast. Yay! I guess you know what I'll be doing here? I'll be reading. So I'll read whatever catches my fancy, what's interesting, what matters, and of course, the usual suspects, my favorites. If you enjoy listening to stories, then you're in the right place. Let me read for you. Today and the next days after, I will be reading from my latest book, hopefully without mistakes. The book has 14 stories that talk about everyday things which we often take for granted and how we can draw life lessons from trees. For this episode, I'm reading about change. All right, let's start. Off Changes from Let Me Learn from a Tree by Ceeline Ramonal. Day turns into night, old buildings disappear, and new ones replace them. People grow old, grow apart, or just simply grow into different people. Often they become unrecognizable. Change, it is everywhere. Inevitable occurrences here and there, big and small. Some changes are drastic, some are gradual, like inconspicuous events that are happening so subtly on a daily basis. They go unnoticed until we, after being preoccupied with so many things for so long, or when some people, whom we have not seen for a while, point them out. Change is constantly happening around us, and the best teachers are trees. In autumn, trees shed their blooms, and for a moment you could almost hear them sigh in sadness. How magnificently proud they were just a few weeks before, standing erect with their puffs of whites, pinks, and purples, or whatever color they were garbed in. It is said that they are most beautiful in the summer, but I disagree. Trees are prouder during spring, when they first basked under the sun's kiss and the greens of their leaves stir again in jubilation. When autumn comes, they would helplessly watch their beloved blooms fall onto the ground where they burrowed their roots, or into man-made streams where water runs. When the wind blows, you can hear their leaves rustle softly to adamantly resist the caress that will carry their blooms away from their homes. And just like how bitterness seeps in when winter announces its presence, they stand stoically in their bareness, grounded in their stiffness and colors of black, gray, and sorrel that deliberately oppose the whiteness around them. Are we not all like trees, agonizing about uncontrollable events happening around us and naively thinking that we can remain untouched, resisting changes brought by forces outside our grasp, whining that we will never be like how we were before, bemoaning what has passed, which we could never alter, and even if we could, we should not. Like the trees, we rebel against change as time rolls in. We cling to the same blooms that were meant for a moment's glory, but were foreknown to cloak the ground thereafter, or to wither somewhere the winds would take them. We refuse to accept the impermanence because we marveled at the beauty it brought. Greedily, like how children craved sweets at night, we want more. Always more. We want everything to remain the same and stretch possibilities to longer periods. We like to believe that spreading ourselves too thin is not an inconvenience. If that is not enough, we even foolishly wish for it to last forever and dare to think that forever is not asking for too much. But this is not so. The sooner we understand this, the better. Time will break this grandeur and disrobe us of our former glory. One day we will be magnificent, and then on the next, we will be stripped naked. Some days we will not get sunshine. while other days we will have too much of it and burn. Or worst, we will be responsible for that fire that races through acres of dried up greens, which seems to be happening much too often these days. On grim days, the fire we helped create unknowingly claims lives. At moments, we might be overwhelmed by floods and rain. Our roots will be tested. They will cling on for dear life on slippery slopes against the rush of raging water. Others will try to latch on to us too, but sadly, despite our efforts, we may not be able to save them. On other days, we will be forced to endure the vandalism on our trunks and live with the scars left by juvenile carvings of devotion that human markers outgrow many years after. Time will do this repeatedly until we learn the lesson. But let's not hate time. Don't hate its efforts to humble or ground us. Time merely wants to hone our ability to stand still amidst the chaos around us. Slowly, without realizing it, time too will offer the peace we desperately pray for. It will present opportunities that will grant another kind of glory. Of course, it may not be like the one we had, but it will be notable just the same. Sometimes we will be allowed to renew ourselves and grow similar colored blooms as the previous years. But the experience will not be the same. At other times, like a naked tree during winter, we will be majestic with our dark bark amidst the snow, and we will give inspiration to those who see us surviving in the harsh cold. On noteworthy occasions, we might be transported to a new haven, away from the dangers brought by technology's aggression, where we can live out our years in harmony with other creatures of God. On rare days, some of us will be one of the lucky few who will be hacked and sheared to be molded into something else, so a small fire can burn in homes, so schools can be built, so families can enjoy a meal on one table, so leaders can sit together whilst discussing the world's well-being, and so history can be remembered. There will be different kinds of glory. We will just have to wait for it to unfold. The truth is, we do not know what surprises life will bring. It can be good, amazing, boring, bad, or worst, depending on what we will do with them. We have no means of seeing our future, but when it comes, there will be a choice. The gift of free will. The will to accept the change or to stand our ground, to embrace the new or to linger in the past, to be who we should be or to stay as we are, to transform alongside change or to preserve what once was. Whatever the choice is, changes will happen at several points in time, and our task is to take courage for every wave of transformation that will come our way and choose what brings happiness and peace. Thank you, trees, for teaching this lesson. The end. This is Dan Ramonal reading to you from the Book Den. Thank you for listening and see you again tomorrow.